Roughly 7.4 million Americans receive SSI, and in the month of August, not one of them is getting a payment. Not the seniors, not the disabled, not the widows, not a single person in a single state on a single day of the month. And when August arrives and those accounts stay empty, phones are going to start ringing, headlines are going to start screaming about missed payments, and a lot of frightened people are going to assume the worst, that benefits were cut or frozen, or that the money simply ran out. So let me hand you the answer right now, before the panic even starts. Every one of those August payments has already been sent. The money went out on Friday, July 31st, one day ahead of schedule, because August 1st, 2026 falls on a Saturday, and the Social Security Administration never issues payments on a weekend. That second deposit millions of people saw at the end of July was not a bonus and not an error. It was August's money, delivered early. But hold on, because there are two things you still need to hear. The story of a married couple in Arizona who nearly lost their apartment over this exact quirk, and the strange fact that this already happened once in 2026, and most of the country never even noticed. Let's get into it. My name is Walter Sinclair, and every week I go through the updates from Social Security, Medicare, and the VA so you don't have to. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't work for the Social Security Administration or Medicare, so please take today as information, not personal advice. Everything you're about to hear comes directly from the official 2026 payment calendar published on ssa.gov, and I encourage you to check every date I mention for yourself. Now, let's talk about why an empty August is actually a sign that everything is working. Here's the rule behind all of this, and it fits in one sentence. SSI is paid on the first day of every month, and whenever the first lands on a weekend or a federal holiday, the Social Security Administration moves that payment backward to the last business day before it. Backward, never forward. That direction matters more than anything else in this video because it means your money is never late. It's early. The government does not hold your payment over a weekend and make you wait until Monday. It pushes the payment out the Friday before, so it's sitting in your account before the month even begins. Once you truly absorb that one rule, no empty month will ever frighten you again. And here's the proof, because this exact thing already happened this year, and I'd bet most people watching never noticed it. Think back to March. March 1st, 2026 was a Sunday, so the March payment went out early, on Friday, February 27th, which means February had 2 SSI deposits and March had 0. 7 million people lived through an entire month with no payment, and there was no crisis, no wave of evictions, no national emergency, because the money had already arrived, just wearing a February date. The only difference between March and August is noise. Back in March, almost nobody was talking about it. This time, the headlines found the story, and headlines are much better at spreading fear than they are at explaining calendars. Now the math that settles everyone down. In 2026, you are receiving exactly 12 SSI payments, the same as every other year, not 11, and not a bonus 13th. The calendar just stacks 2 of them into the same month a few times. July got 2, one on July 1st for July, and one on July 31st for August. And it's just as important to know who this does not touch. If you receive regular Social Security, retirement, survivors, or disability, your August payment is coming in August, on your normal birthday schedule. Born the 1st through the 10th, you're paid Wednesday, August 12th. The 11th through the 20th, August 19th. The 21st through the 31st, August 26th. And if you started benefits before May of 1997, or you receive both SSI and Social Security together, your Social Security portion still lands on August 3rd like clockwork. Only SSI follows the first of the month rule, so only SSI moved. So here's the payoff of this whole first stretch, and I want you to hold on to it. An empty month is not missing money. If your August statement shows no SSI deposit, the system did not fail you. The system paid you early. But I'll be honest with you, Knowing that fact and stretching one deposit across 5 weeks are two very different challenges, and nobody learned that harder than Frank and Elaine. Frank and Elaine are in their late 60s. They live in Tucson, Arizona, and they receive SSI as a married couple, which means one payment of $1,491 a month between the two of them. And after rent, there is not a lot of daylight left in that number. The last time this calendar quirk rolled around, they saw an extra deposit at the end of the month, and Frank was sure he'd figured it out. He told Elaine it had to be some kind of cost of living catch-up, a one-time adjustment the government owed them. And Elaine had been putting off a dental problem for almost a year because the bill scared her, so they did what felt like the responsible, loving thing. They used that deposit to finally get her tooth fixed. Then the new month came, and no payment did. Rent day arrived, they were short, and a notice from the landlord ended up taped to their door. Frank, a man who had worked with his hands his whole life and never asked anyone for anything, had to call his son and ask to borrow rent money. He told me that phone call was harder than any day of work he ever did. Because this was never about arithmetic. It was about dignity. Here's how it ends, though. Their bank showed them a free tool that changed everything. An automatic transfer. Now, whenever an early deposit lands, it moves that same day into a separate savings account they nicknamed the holding pen. And it automatically comes back on the first of the month it belongs to. No willpower required. No envelopes, no arguments. This July 31st, their August money landed, slid quietly into the holding pen, and Frank and Elaine slept just fine. That's what one piece of information is worth. So let's turn their hard lesson into your plan. Because the real test of an early payment is the gap that follows it. The deposit that arrived July 31st has to carry you all the way to Tuesday, September 1st. And if you count the days, that's a full 32-day stretch, longer than a normal month. The simplest defense is to redate the deposit. The money that landed on July 31st is not July money, so write it in your register as August 1st and don't let a dime of it leak into July spending. And if you bank online, borrow Frank and Elaine's trick and set up an automatic transfer that parks any early deposit in savings and returns it on the 1st. Your bank will set this up for free, and it takes the decision out of your hands on the exact day temptation is strongest. Now, I need to bust a myth, and this one has teeth. A lot of people are going to look at that July 31st deposit and think what Frank thought. It's a bonus, a stimulus, a cola catch-up. Let me be completely clear. The 2026 cost of living adjustment, which was 2.8%, has already been baked into every payment you've received since January. That's why the maximum federal SSI amount this year is $994 for an individual and $1,491 for a couple. Social Security does not send surprise mid-year bonuses, ever. And that fact is your shield, because scammers know exactly what week it is. If anyone calls you, emails you, or texts you claiming there's a special August SSI bonus, and they just need to verify your information to release it, that is a thief. Full stop. Hang up. The real Social Security Administration will never call to offer you extra money. One more practical piece. If you're watching this and your July 31st payment genuinely never arrived, here's the calm way through it. Social Security asks you to allow 3 mailing days before reporting a payment missing. So first, check your bank account or your Direct Express card carefully, and look at your payment history online through your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. If it still hasn't appeared after 3 business days, call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213, and only that number, the one printed on ssa.gov, never a number that calls you first. Quick favor while it's on my mind. If this video has taken a weight off your shoulders, tap subscribe, because it costs you nothing and it tells me to keep making straight answer videos like this one for American seniors. And stay with me, because if you think August is the last empty month on this year's calendar, I have news for you. It isn't. There are more coming, and one of them is timed terribly. Chapter 6. Skepticism Preempt. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking. Walter, If the government knows 7.4 million people are about to see an empty month, why doesn't anyone warn them? No letter, no text, no phone call, nothing? And you're right to ask. The honest answer is that this is not a conspiracy, and it is not a cut. It's bureaucratic indifference. The full payment calendar sits on ssa.gov all year long, published months in advance. And as far as the agency is concerned, posting it counts as telling you. The system quietly assumes that 7 million people check a government website, and the people that assumption hurts most are the ones with the thinnest margins. That's not right, but it is the truth. And I'd rather bore you with a calendar than scare you with a headline. And since the real problem is that nobody hands you that calendar, I went ahead and made it for you. Down in the description of this video, there's a free printable one-page calendar with every remaining SSI payment date for 2026, all the empty months clearly marked in red, and a short checklist built on the redating method we just covered. There's no email to enter and no catch to find. Just print it, stick it on the refrigerator, keep a copy by the phone, and maybe print a second one for a friend or neighbor who gets SSI. Because the last dates on that page are the ones that matter most, and that's where we're headed right now. Here's the full picture I promised you at the start, and it's bigger than August. In 2026, there are 3 months with no SSI payment at all, and a fourth one waiting just over the new year. March was the first, and you already survived it, most of you without even noticing. August is the second, and now you understand it completely. And the third is November. Here's how the rest of your year actually unfolds, date by date. September's payment arrives normally on Tuesday, September 1st. October's payment arrives normally on Thursday, October 1st. Then, on Friday, October 30th, a second deposit lands, and that one is November's money, arriving early because November 1st falls on a Sunday. So November, just like March and August, will be a month where nothing arrives, because everything already did. Then December 1st brings December's payment right on time. And on Thursday, December 31st, one final deposit appears, and that is your January 2027 payment, sent early because New Year's Day is a federal holiday, which makes January 2027 the fourth empty month in this stretch. Now, let me show you why December 31st is the most dangerous date on this entire list, using Frank and Elaine's numbers. $1,491 lands in their account on New Year's Eve, in the heart of the holiday season, right after Christmas spending, with family visiting and sales running, and one more celebration that very night. Every instinct says this money is a gift to end the year with. And that deposit has to survive all 31 days of January, every grocery trip, every prescription, every utility bill, until the next payment arrives on Monday, February 1st. August catches people by surprise. December catches people by temptation, and temptation is stronger. So here is the 3-date rule, and it's the single action I want you to take from this video. Get your 2026 calendar today and circle 2 dates, October 30th and December 31st. And next to each one, write the month that money really belongs to, November and January. Then, when each deposit lands, date it, park it, and protect it, with an envelope, a register, or an automatic transfer, whichever fits your life. That's it. 12 payments, every single year, every single dollar. 3 of them simply wearing the wrong date. That's the whole mystery. Solved. And now you hold the full map that 7 million people were never handed. Let's nail it all down with a checklist you can act on before this video even ends. Number 1. No SSI deposit is coming in August, and that is normal, not a cut, so do not panic. Number 2. The money that arrived Friday, July 31st is your August payment, and it needs to stretch 32 days, all the way to September 1st. Number 3. Circle October 30th and December 31st on your calendar today, because those deposits belong to November and to January 2027, not to the months they land in. Number 4. Social Security never sends surprise mid-year bonuses, So anyone who calls, texts, or emails offering one is a scammer, and you hang up. Number 5. If you receive regular Social Security retirement, survivors, or disability, none of this affects you, and your August payment arrives on your usual Wednesday. Number 6. If a payment is genuinely missing, allow 3 mailing days, check your account and your Direct Express card, then call only 1-800-77-21213. And number 7. Print the free calendar linked below and put it where your eyes land every day. 7 steps, and this calendar never surprises you again. Before you go, I'm going to ask you for one thing, and it matters more than any number on my screen. 7 million people are walking into an empty August, and the government is not sending a single one of them a warning. But you can be the warning for one person, a sister, a neighbor, a friend from church who gets SSI and has no idea why her account will sit quiet all month. Share this video with that one person today, because 30 seconds from you can spare them a genuinely frightening moment at the ATM. And drop a comment below with a simple yes or no. Did you notice that March was an empty month this year? I read every one of those answers, and they tell me what you need next. Speaking of next, in my upcoming video, I'm covering a program that can quietly add money back into your pocket every month. The Medicare Savings Program that pays your Part B premium for you, because far too many seniors qualify for it and never claim it. Until then, stay sharp, stay steady, and look after each other. This is Walter Sinclair. I'll see you in the next one.